Wow.
Dolls.
First
things first. I want to give a little shout out to the SUP Patreon members.
Wow.
I
love them all.
I love them all.
I love all of you who are on the Patreon.
You make this podcast possible, first
do.
and foremost, because this is like pretty much a listener-funded experience.
Yeah.
And not only that, you guys are so fucking funny.
So
it's
funny.
Really like robust community of lollers, and just I'm in the Christmas spirit, and I felt just appreciative of what you guys are all bringing to the table.
Not only lollers, but like thoughtful, funny,
smart,
good conversation. You know, not everyone agrees, but it's all respectful.
Yeah.
And it's just everyone's really great, and yeah, I'm so grateful that you guys are, you know, enjoying listening to this enough that you're like subscribing to it, and it's so cool. And it's you guys are the reason for the season. You really are. Like, so, this podcast straight up would not exist happen. And be what it is now, with like video, with a YouTube channel, with a fucking TikTok, with multiple episodes a week, with an editor, with a video editor, with a TikTok video editor, with Carey here. With Carey. If it weren't for you guys and your support. So thank you all. Thank you so much. And happy holidays to all of you. Yeah. Truly. Mm-hmm. And stay with us in the new year. Yeah. Show that you really do love us. Because I have trust issues and I need people to prove it over and over. So, Lord. You better get those tickets now to the live show. January 11th, January 18th, 2023. Dynasty Typewriter. Yeah. Kick off Q1 with us. It'll be grand. We're having our first show. I was like reading a little bit of my astrology for 2023, or just like seeing where the planets are aligning and what's moving into what house, etc. And something is shifting. Oh God. I think it's a good thing for me. I don't know about other people, something's shifted. So she's shifting. I think it's like Mars moves out of Gemini. Like Mars has been in Gemini, and it's allegedly been making me feel really tired, like since October 30th. And I have felt listless, low energy, unmotivated, questioning. It's not long COVID. It's just Mars. Yeah. It's Mars in my sign. Mars or COVID? Yeah, Mars or long COVID. I choose Mars. I choose Mars for you. Yeah. So apparently that's going away like in the latter half of January. Good timing. And it's good timing for the shows. And then there will be like, I'll feel a little more energy once again. And then by the time we get into our even future batch of shows, you'll be riding high in April. Forget it. Only to be shot down in May. Don't say that. When are our new batch of shows? They're in the works. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay true. Stay tuned. Let us know. Stay pruned. Guys. I read. Okay, this is SUP After Dark. Guys, we are. I'm harrowed. We're a little harrowed because I'm hot. I smell like ketchup. I don't think you smell like ketchup. To myself. Okay. Worth it. We're coming to you live after dark. It's cold. It's a cold winter. It's a chilly December's Eve. It literally is like 40 degrees out. I know. It's like it's not that normal. This is the coldest I feel like it's ever been in LA. I think climate change has just made the seasons more intense in LA. I'm for it. Like, I wish that LA would turn into a city that had 4 straight up seasons. No, I think we're like San Francisco now. I'm 1000% here for that. I mean, cuddling with my Cavalier in the dead of night when it's cold out. Clutching a dog to me. I'm having a problem. I'm night sweating, and I feel like maybe the king size comforter. Stop. I'm kidding. Guys, is it long COVID or Mars? Long COVID. How was your bed journey? Okay, my bed journey. It's good. Is it mid journey? I'm
So I had like a plush thing on top
Right.
of my thing, but then I was feeling the heat from below. Like it felt like an oven I was a personal oven, like
Oh,
heating myself
no.
up. So I returned the thing to Amazon. Then I'm now thinking that maybe I got too heavy of a comforter.
Oh.
But this is what happened to me last time where I got like, I want a heavy, super puffy down comforter that feels heavy and like puffs up and has that like delicious crinkly sound. But the bad side is I sleep hot, so if it's too heavy, I'm just I'm sweating to the oldies in that bed.
It's Titanic, like
I cannot get a good temperature going.
You want like a comforter that's fluffy and crisp, crunchy, but also cool.
Yeah, that's not like a Dutch oven, because even if I keep it cold in the room, it's humid under the comforter.
Do you remember the hotel we stayed at for the Philly show?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember those beds?
That was a good bed.
They were like that Marriott, like kind of minimal, like crisp. I know this sounds insane, but like that's the kind of
that was a good Marriott.
A hotel that was good.
That was a
I
good
made
one.
Up for it.
That was good. Bon Voy.
The Old City Marriott in Philly. Shout out to you.
It was a great location. It was right next to that little cute cafe.
Yeah, we went there with my mom. But it's that hotel comforter that's kind of cool, but also very cozy.
Yeah.
You want that.
I know, and I think I just bit off more than I could chew.
Look up literally hotel comforter.
I've looked up a lot. Basically, the comforter, I got a good one at a reasonable price for like $140 for a down comforter is really good
it's really
from
good.
Amazon, so it's returnable. But like obviously I looked up like what are the best down comforters and found the one that I really want, but that's $900. And I'm not at a place. So Patreon.
We need more subscribers. So Lars can afford a $900.
I'm about to do like a price hike.
Damn.
Yeah.
People
but
don't
then
want people to be living in luxury.
No, they want to keep you
people want
sweating.
to keep the layman like us like under the fucking thumb of
tossing, turning,
capitalism.
Sweating.
You have to, in order. All we're asking, all of us are ever asking, is just for a little comfort, just for a little bit of ease,
just for dignity,
just
basic
dignity,
human dignity.
But no late capitalism.
No.
He wags his finger and says, no.
They say, "You want this Casper mattress?" They say, "We'll give it to you. It'll off gas for days." I'm like, do I have off gas poisoning from the mattress?
Off gas?
Like, off gassing is like when you get a mattress
and it like slowly deflates.
And it's been like sprayed with I think a lot of like chemicals to get like rolled up, and then you unroll it and it kind of smells for like the first week or two. Or a few. And I'm like, is this poisoning me and giving me cancer? Is it off gas poisoning or long COVID?
Is it comfy?
It's comfy. I'm getting really into it, and I got king size pillows, which changed the fucking game.
Are you sleeping well?
I'm sleeping great.
Okay.
Except for the sweating.
Remember Freckles' iconic quote.
Sometimes things that are expensive are worse.
And even though it's a good investment, sometimes it's just like I feel like
what for the mattress or the $900 comforter?
The comforter.
Well, yeah, I only got the $140.
Okay, no, I'm just saying, like, just have that in your head.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can even return a $900 comforter.
I also think that sometimes when you purchase something, when you make like a big investment, like a king size bed or something, it's like it's all there, it's all good, but there's something inside you that feels like,
am I getting duped?
Yeah, you're like,
I've had that with the flat screen too. It's like it's like not shame. Buyer's remorse, but it's like it's a little bit of shame. If it goes wrong, this is what I deserve.
No, it's like truly we're beyond buyer's remorse. Buyer's remorse feels like the 80s or 90s.
When I buy, I'm fucking Joker level chaos. Like I buy and I cackle to myself.
I think we've moved away as a culture from buyer's remorse. That feels almost like innocent and like sweet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now we're in like shame. It's just like late stage capitalist like
Yeah, and like it could go just horribly wrong,
And
or
you're
you're gonna get scammed because we're in like the
the scam age.
We're in the scam age, so I keep wondering. Like
Can you
I
top me
watched.
off with a little water?
Yeah. Erewhon's finest sparkling.
Just a little. Thank you, doll.
Like I watched, like after we talked about cannibalism, I watched that movie Trouble Every Day on Shudder, and I was like, I got all situated in the king size and like turned the lights off and put it on, and I think it's a really bad quality version of that movie. Like it's like a low res or something, but on this flat screen, I was like, this TV's broken. Like they
scam.
I was like, they scam me. I was like, that fucking Best Buy guy, he told me to get that. I was like, I literally was like furiously Googling. I was truly about to shame spiral. I was shook to my core, and it's never happened again. Like it was giving like weird pixelated things.
It's probably like intentional.
I think it was just like a really low quality. Trouble Every Day. It's like a Claire Denis movie that is probably very hard to find because I don't think a lot of people want to watch Vincent Gallo. Yeah. It's like Vincent Gallo and his girlfriend and like a crazed French woman.
Well.
Yeah. So, but I was having trouble
right now
that night. But then I was like, what if it's just like, I tested a bunch of different movies and then I watched The Piano Teacher. Shout out to The Piano Teacher. Have you seen that?
Anna Paquin?
That's with
Holly Hunter?
No. Isabelle Huppert.
Isabelle Huppert.
And a fucking hot as shit French actor who's like a younger guy. And she's like this uptight, horny, like, but kooky.
Is that the one when she goes?
Yeah. And they like embark on a love affair, but it's like really twisted. It's good. You and Simon would like it. It's like true. It's when desire goes wrong.
I watched the trailer last night. I want to see it. It's this new horror movie called Skinamarink. Skinamarink. It has 100% Rotten Tomato, and it's like apparently like just utter dread and like true horror, like not like gore or anything or violent, just like utter like.
What's the plot?
I don't know if there is a plot. I think it's like a vibe, but it's like I watched the trailer. It seems like it's like following two children who don't know where their parents are in a dark house, and they like.
Okay, that I'm like fully down. Say no more.
And they're like looking around, and they're all the reviews. It's like the movie captures this familiar fears that you had as a child when like you would like run to the bathroom at night because you were scared.
Oh my God, I just got freaked out because there's one in the house I grew up in, like the front door had like, it was like you would walk in the front door and there was like a little hallway in front of it. And if you walked past it, felt kind of dark where the front door is, but you had to walk past that to get to my parents' room. Yeah. And I would always wrap up in a blanket because I felt like they can't get you if you're if you're fully like covered in a blanket head to toe. If you can't
see them, then you're safe.
Yeah, and they can't like actually like touch your clothes or anything. But I would just run past that as fast as possible.
I think it's like that. All the review says it captures that feeling.
I'm covered in chills.
And there's like in the trailer, this like I think they're like toddlers or something, or like 5-year-olds.
Put them to work.
Put them to work.
Put them to work. You got to earn your keep around here.
Mary Kate and Ashley were doing it.
Yeah, but and look at them, they're smart.
The trailers like has like crackling like lo-fi like that. It kind of looks like a tape or something, and then the kid looks over and you see like a dark stairwell leading up, and you just hear a voice go, "Come upstairs."
It's Kathy Hilton.
Come upstairs.
It's Kathy and Aspen.
You little bitch. I don't know. It looks terrifying.
I'm down. When does it come out?
When does it come out? January. I think January.
Okay.
But I was like, I was tempted to find it last night because Simon was out of town and it was just me and Mango. And then I saw the trailer and I went, I will not be watching this
alone.
No.
But it's not out now.
No. But I thought
you were gonna try and like
stream it, or
you were gonna try and do some
illegal
shit. Yeah. I never do that.
Oh, I did it all the time in New York.
I'm such a rule follower when it comes to that.
You're
shit.
an oldest child.
Well, I also am just like
Mom.
I'm just like, it's hard and I want to watch it in good quality.
Yeah. And it's like, then you're watching it like
on your computer. It's like buffering.
I watched The Shallows illegally.
I mean, I did go to New York once and like my mom took me, I think I was like in 7th or 8th grade. And I was like, this is the place where dreams are made of. I strutted down Canal Street, bought a fake Kate Spade, literally like filled my suitcase with pirated VHS tapes.
Hell yeah.
I was like, I cleaned up.
Yeah, those are the best. There was like a video store near me in Williamsburg that also had like.
I was like, you're telling me that I can buy these now and these movies are out in theaters? Don't mind if I fucking do.
Then you were like, why don't I live here?
Yeah.
What else did I watched something last night that was
spooky?
Yeah. Oh, it's on Hulu. It's freaky. It's maybe take out spooky.
What?
Well,
why are we taking out spooky?
Because it's that show Kindred. That's like, I think.
What is it about, slaves?
Yeah.
Well, that's
I know, but okay. Just okay.
We're starting over.
We'll start over. Last night I was watching this really freaky show on Hulu called Kindred. It's Octavia Butler novel turned into a show.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really good. It's like this girl who moves from Brooklyn to LA and she doesn't know anyone and she moves into a house, I think in like Pasadena, and she starts getting like almost like she's like falling into like spells of sleep or something. She gets transported back to the 19th century where she's a slave, but it's like actually like people are like, oh, she's here again. Like they think she's like a ghost, and like she keeps jumping through like months ahead or a year ahead to the same family, and it's just wild. And then she'll like jolt back and be like in her house, but it's done in a way where it's not like Quantum Leap. It's like she's
or not like that Janelle Monáe movie.
No, it's like she's just like coming out of it and like screaming, and like she's dating this guy and he's like this like kind of dopey sweet hipster, and he's just like, what the fuck, and it's pretty wild.
It's a show.
Yeah, it's on Hulu.
The cursed Hulu.
I know.
I cut ties with Hulu this week. Finally, it felt good.
You said goodbye.
I found my voice, like the Wild Rose.
The Wild Rose.
And I said, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Well, since this is a long episode, should we get into it?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Guys, Lara and I, okay, I'm Carey.
I'm Lara.
And you're listening to
Sexy Unique Podcast. Salty Utah Queens.
I was thrown at the length of this kind of non-episode.
They did this last season too, where they would throw like a long episode into the mix.
I was like, this is White Lotus length.
Bitch, do your job and just like cut a good episode.
40
you know what you could cut out?
What?
5 minutes of surfing content.
Yeah, they could have cut the whole beach stuff.
You could have cut all the beach games.
Keep it just a lunch.
Yeah, let's have them eat and talk eat and talk.
What happened to like 40-minute episodes?
I don't know, but I didn't sign up for this kind of
Lara and I
marathon.
keep looking at each other and being like,
I was like, this is the longest night of my life.
The longest, because you think I'm gonna be able to watch this live? I'm gonna be able to figure that out.
No, I was like, oh my god, like it's still happening.
Going. So it was, but
and I'm like, what happened? Even it's hard.
I mean, this episode's leading to it's an annoying episode because it's leading us to it's one of those episodes that's just like centered around the end.
Yeah.
It's like
when Bravo shows you something over and over and over and they're like coming next week and they're like finally, and then there's like a big reveal, that they're just gonna it's not this next episode. It's going to be like 2 episodes away.
So, as we know, this episode is leading up to what happened to Heather in the dead of night.
Yeah, who got her?
In the dead of... She got caught.
I hope it's someone completely unexpected. I hope it's P22.
Oh my God.
King.
Prayers up. So it's kind of it's day 2 of San Diego. Everyone's like off kilter because the first day was such a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Jen Shaw.
And everyone's like hungover and like doesn't even have like Lisa Barlow didn't even have it in her to like put on makeup the next day.
Which I was like, I support.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. But I was surprising from her because she's always so meticulous.
I know. But
So
I love a natural queen.
A natural queen.
The people need to see my natural face.
My publicist and my lawyer, she consulted 6 of her attorneys and they all said, no makeup today, Lisa.
They said, if you can do one day where you just choose one where you don't wear makeup, I think it would be really beneficial. She goes, love that.
Love that. I have a media coach.
Love that. I'll do it in San Diego.
She probably does have an image consultant.
Yeah. I mean, it's working because, it never wasn't working for me because I've always loved Lisa B.
She's coming off the best.
She's a fucking queen. Everyone's tits out. Meredith is wearing just the tiniest sunglasses inside with one boob hanging out of a jumpsuit, cooking hash browns. She popped a few Vicodin and
she went
into the kitchen.
We should. I'm like so worried she's gonna like cease and desist us
for saying that, joking about her doing Vicodin. I think it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, she's like slaying. She's like nodding out while making hash browns and pancakes, and she's like, "Come on to Meredith's kitchen.
Have a little hash.
Have it. Who wants some hashish?
Care for bacon?
I was been an opium den in Marrakesh.
Just Seth and I, our marriage got back on track and
doing it all the time
in Morocco.
Lisa, Wild Rose, and Angie are outside.
And Lisa goes, "My exercise was running my mouth last night."
Lisa was like, "Damn, I was on one."
Lisa's on fire. And then they talk about the Wild Rose and Heather problem, which I still don't have much clarity on after this episode.
No,
Wild Rose,
I think it's stuff that's happened behind the scenes. I think there's like,
and they're just like overall relationship dynamic.
Yeah, I think the whole like Utah Jazz Gate was like sort of the cherry on top.
That really opened my eyes to the dynamic between Heather and me.
My third eye is open.
My third rose was open.
And I'm keeping it real. My third bud was open.
And just like that, my third eye opened like a wild bud.
The wild rose on the first day of spring. So they're having crazy tension still. Whitney's rightfully like, why did Heather randomly like throw me into the mix?
Why is Heather throwing me around? Oh, also, why is Heather throwing me around?
Well, yeah.
Why is when every time I try and talk to Heather, she literally picks me up like a bazooka and shot puts me into the other room.
She trunchbuls her. She's like the girl with the pigtails in Matilda.
She's constantly.
She is always throwing Whitney.
It's like the fucking Olympics whenever they
shot put. Javelin.
Yeah, she javelins her.
Talk about She-Hulk. She-Hulk.
Heather has revealed herself to be the She-Hulk. We all thought it was Jen Shaw, but it's actually Heather.
But Whitney's kind of like last night at dinner when we were all arguing, when Jen had put Heather on the spot, Heather, to try to like divert any kind of conflict away from her, was like, threw me into the mix and was like, "Oh, when Angie showed up to the auditions with Whitney." With
Whitney? I didn't know she was going to show up with Whitney. You invited me.
You invited us. So I get it. I get that. I also understand that like Whitney's annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that like having to be the point person for her on her healing journey would be taxing.
I think Heather's probably feeling tired of being her like caretaker, but also she's being kind of a bitch.
Yeah, she's being a huge bitch.
She's being a bully.
And like Whitney, I feel like it's like their dynamic.
Do you mean Whitney or do you mean the wild rose?
The wild one.
Okay, thank you for correcting.
I think Whitney and Heather have the kind of relationship where it's like Heather could see or feel that Whitney doesn't know what she's talking about, or Heather's kind of eye roll about all the stuff that Whitney goes through a little bit. Like leaving the church and navigating my trauma. And like, I think that's because Heather's really blocked with all of her leaving the church. And probably I would venture to say there's childhood trauma. I mean, who doesn't have childhood trauma?
Yeah, I think Heather's sort of like just a impatient big sister.
Yeah.
And I think where Whitney is, as annoying as she is, like she's dealing with some really heavy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think from the jump, Heather was a little. I found her reaction to be kind of strange.
Dismissive.
She was a little dismissive, and then later in the episode when Jen reveals her truth, Heather's like, "I got you. Like, give me your hand."
I have a theory.
I know you had a hot.
My hot take is that Heather is actually in love with Jen.
Yeah, I don't know if it's in love, but I think it's like
it's not just friendship.
It's like true codependency.
Yeah, and like needing to be kooky together, but then like there was something like when they were naked together and like the giddiness, and it just really clicked for me because I was like, Heather had to grow up totally closed off from any sort of desire or anything that she would really want. She's in this marriage, like in this church, everything's like really constricting. And now she's out.
Her cousin is Diane Warren.
Yeah. And now that she's out and like she's obviously a very sexual person.
Jen is like this.
Jen's a firecracker.
Well, she's like, even though Jen is very, according to her, religious.
Yeah, I wonder how Jen's behavior like.
Well, I just mean I think Jen is like she's a free spirit.
she's a free-spirited, deeply religious Muslim who's fighting for her goddamn life.
But she's kind of like she flaunts her sexuality, and I think Heather, like, I don't know if it's love as much as like adoration.
Yeah, it's like a certain kind of love. I don't mean necessarily like.
No, I know what you're saying though. It's like a deep friendship that goes into like, I want to be like you. Yeah. Where it's like a little veering into like
a friendship that's
female.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll bow to you.
It's like how I saw Camille Grammer's friend Dee Dee when she was like, Camille, I love you and I need you to know it. And she was like, I know. It's like that.
Yeah. You're yearning for approval and hoping that they can just put everything aside, get drunk, and like put their tits on each other.
Yeah. I think you're totally right.
Lisa goes, you guys, I'm going to go grab a Kit Kat and get ready for the day.
I asked Laura, I was like, is she being sponsored by Kit Kat?
Yeah, what was that about?
Isn't that like her running thing? She like eats Kit Kats.
She just eats Kit Kats, eats candy bars, and drinks a gallon of soda a day.
Doesn't gain a pound.
The queen of Sundance.
Jen emerges wearing like a kind of Jen Coolidge outfit, and
she's White Lotus. She's Tanya-ing for sure.
8-inch heels, wedge heels,
and a weird little romper.
She and Angie
with her tits out and her buns out.
Jen's tits are everywhere in this
bazongas.
Episode. She's got bazongas.
She does, and she goes creeping into Angie K's room, and she's like, "Hey, girl."
Hey, girl.
And she apologizes, and then Angie K goes, "Yeah, I just want to press the reset button." And I was like, I love saying that to someone who you fucking wailed on in the Sprinter van, like revealed like a deep thing that would make everyone change their mind about this person.
Yeah.
And being like, it's fine. We can just hit the restart button.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a restart button.
No, I think they're done.
I think these are the final days of Jen Shaw's life as a free woman.
I know.
It's really fucked. She's getting sentenced on January 6th.
I know. That's iconic.
Time to storm Beauty Lab and Laser. I hold up a Morpheus 8. Free Jen! I go in like a Viking.
Oh
thing.
no.
I put my feet on the counter of Heather's office with a Morpheus in one hand and a cool sculpting on my pooch. I hook my butt right up to the M sculpt and it's just jiggling.
Free Jen!
Free Jen Shaw! I get
There's like a police stand up.
I steal like a box of Voluma.
It's just an insurrection of one.
It's me. I insurrect. They're like, please go, please leave. And I'm like, we will free Jen. We will not stop until she is free. They're like,
There's still
ma'am.
time. They're like, Jen's in jail already.
She surrendered. They sentenced her and she's now serving her multi-year
Free
prison.
her!
I will not rest until she is free.
Free Jen! So all the gals gather in to go to the beach. And they get there and they have like a beach setup, which is like at first is like, oh, this is cute.
This is funny games. This is literally, I do not like when they treat these women like subhuman and force them to play games.
Well, first I was like, oh, they're like beach butlers. I was like, that's cute. And then no, they're babysitters.
They make them like do a
Sandcastle building thing. And
why does this always happen? Like they just did this on Potomac.
They just
Robin had like an outdoor party where everyone had to do like a sack race. I'm like, you guys are better than this. You're Real Housewives, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, they treat them like they're like 6-year-old girls.
I think it started during COVID and it started during girls trips, where the like spin-off girls trips where they're always making them play silly games.
Like at Dorinda's.
And they did that a lot on Summer House during COVID.
It's like it's a fucking COVID invention.
Guys,
COVID's ruined everything.
I'm also going to storm the Watch What Happens Live Clubhouse and demand that they stop making these people play games. Enough with the games!
You still have the...
I roll in a laser from Beauty Lab and Laser. I fly it all the way to New York. Go up the elevator to the clubhouse, go through the offices of Watch What Happens Live, break onto the set.
Do a little more water.
And Morpheus myself.
It's fucking hot.
It's really hot.
I'll just
No. Here. Also, maybe I'm night sweating because I keep it at a cool 80 degrees in here all the time. But the heat is either... The way this building works, you cannot control the heat. The heat's either on full blast or it's off and it's freezing. I'm about to insurrect the Eberly Company. I think 2023.
Don't reveal their name.
Well, what? It's not their fault. It's the owners who apparently live in Texas. I have a lot of places to storm in 2023.
Out of state, of course.
On January 6th, 2023.
You have to go to a lot of
I'm going to storm 6 different places. I'm going to fly across the country, a woman of one, and storm Beauty Lab and Laser, Watch What Happens Live Clubhouse. I'll start with them because they're in LA. Gotta go to Texas, get the owners of this building to install a fucking Nest thermostat, for the love of God, please.
Free attention!
I'm gonna storm that $900 comforter headquarter. That's international. That's in like Bavaria.
Well, that's your like risking like an international incident doll. you might trigger World War III. Don't do that.
Yeah, so put it on my storm list. Shannon Storms Bedore.
Is that her name? Storms?
That's her name. She like rebranded herself. I haven't gotten to that point where she starts to go by that instead of Shannon Bedore.
Wow.
So I think when she and David,
Is her maiden name Storms?
maybe, or I don't know where it came
Maybe
from.
she chose
I'm
it.
gonna find out.
So they get to the beach. They play their games. Heather is just like everything Whitney does annoys her. Whitney like knocks over a sandcastle.
That would annoy me.
Yeah, they cheat, and then Jen Shaw is cheating a lot, and I was like, this is not helping her.
No.
If I were her and I was on the show, I'd be like pious as a fucking saint.
I'd be like, covered up head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, sorry, I'd be like, my faith requires that I pray like 3 times a day. I'd be like making sure people saw that. And then if they made me play a game, I would say,
I'm just going to sit this one out.
Or I'd be like, okay, but it's really important to me that we follow the rules and we really respect one another during this game.
I would let everyone win.
Mm-hmm.
But Jen's like,
I would not drink.
Jen's like body checking people. She's like slamming people. I'm like, okay, how wrong.
She's preparing for jail.
She might be.
I go to Carey. I go, I wonder if she's going to have to get her implants taken out before she goes to prison. And he goes, why? Because they'll pop them in there. I was like, no, just because if she goes for like, you're supposed to get them redone every 10 years. So I don't know if like I don't know if you get like a furlough to go get your implants removed. Why? I guess I'll pop them.
I was scared for her.
I mean, I'm scared for a lot of reasons.
But
like, do you have to? You probably want to do that kind of shit.
I think
when you
there's like medical like. Well, no.
I don't think the prison system
true.
of the United States cares about like your
Implants.
their medical needs. I don't think they're putting the medical needs.
No,
of the
obviously
prisoners
not.
first.
But like, if there's like a life threatening, if like an implant gets like infected or something, like she'll have to.
Yeah, but like that's
mean,
the thing is
we
like,
think.
wouldn't you want to just take them out
Yeah.
so that if you're depending on how long your sentence is.
Jen is literally reminds me of the villain. I said this before, but the villain in The Emperor's New Clothes, who Eartha Kitt voices. She's literally her, which is
her.
an iconic thing.
So they play these beach games.
Then the women split off.
Heather, Jen, and Lisa go for lunch.
They're kind of now like a new trio.
Yeah, they're aligned, and the whole vibe of lunch is like Heather and Lisa are gonna softly confront Jen about like
Being abusive.
Yeah.
And the other girls, including Meredith, because she doesn't want to be with Lisa, surf.
They're forced to go to like yet another tent on the beach and then like try their hand at surfing. Meredith decides that she's just not going to do anything, and she sits in a chair and goes on her phone.
I like that. That's probably where I'd be.
I love being like, you're on a reality show, you're at work right now, and like you're just taking a breather. She really can.
The lunch is just excruciating. It's like at this like horrible like kind of boardwalk restaurant, and
I was like, is it good or is it bad?
Well, then Jen was like, I'm allergic to shellfish, and I'm like, is she?
I'm like, babe, you better eat up now because it's about to be old bread and beans where you're headed.
I was just like, everything she's saying, I'm like, is it true?
I don't know.
I've gone full like.
I think
I was like sort of like
she needs to be like hospitalized. I don't know if incarceration. I don't know how her life is going to go, and I feel badly for her because I think it
was bad for her family.
I feel really bad for her family, and like.
But she did this to herself.
Yeah.
But
allegedly, we don't know.
Allegedly, she did this to herself. But
I like forcing you to say allegedly.
Yeah.
She like literally pled guilty, but I'll be alleged about it.
But Heather and Lisa are kind of like, you make us scared. And like we feel tension a lot and we feel like we're always having to like grovel, and it's always like it's either we're friends forever or like you're my fucking enemy and I'm gonna kill you, and there's no in between.
Yeah, and they say it in a really measured and calm way. And Jen escalates the entire situation, starts crying, and then she just drops a suicide bomb.
She said that.
She did. I mean, I'm sorry, that's like manipulative.
No, yeah.
If you're in a fight with someone,
no,
there's
you're right.
a time and a place to talk about suicide.
She was like, well, you want to know what? Like, I tried to kill myself. How
Yeah.
about that? She said, how about that? And then
How about that?
Lisa and Heather are just like,
You can't, that shuts everything down.
and then she basically like gets up and leaves, and they're just like, wait. And they say that they're like, Heather's like, what am I supposed to say after that?
And
It's
there is
obviously-
nothing you can say.
It's obviously horrible, but like, it's just you mentioning that right now does nothing but try to manipulate the situation.
That's also off topic.
Yeah,
It's
learn how
like-
to argue.
I mean, we'll put a pin in that and come back to that later.
She would not do well in Model UN.
Maybe they have like a Model UN. They'll have a debate club and rejoin.
But I'm just like, that's such a terrible, like, I mean, it's an awful thing that happened, but like,
If it's true, which it also, at this point, it's like,
I want to believe.
I believe that she's a woman in distress.
Yeah, and I think she could have like said like, I believe that she believes that happened.
If I was in her position, I too would have ideations.
Of course, I'm sure she has, and I'm not like I just like the way she said it. It felt like a power tactic.
Yeah.
And then she storms off and goes and sits inside with her little watered down cocktail,
In her tiny clutch.
and then comes back and she tells them about
Shaw exposed, ruining her life.
and Coach, had this trigger warning, but like had to come in and to the bathroom where she was claiming, she said she was going to try to take her life, and then she was in the hospital for 2 days. Which is like, that sucks.
Yeah.
And it's like she's under extreme duress.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's a way, like you could have,
There's a time and a place.
these are your friends, like you could have shared this any other time, but right now, like that's when it's like you're weaponizing this painful thing that you went through. And that's manipulative.
Yeah. It's also hard. What a horrible situation just for everyone to be in, because you're probably like, you have limited time left to spend with this person as like a free woman.
Yeah.
And you want to make it matter.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
To making it count.
And you want to make it matter, and then you're fighting, and you want to be able to say things or have like a very honest conversation about friendship dynamics or whatever. And then it just turns into this. It's just like a really bad situation all around. It gets worse and worse, not funnier and funnier.
So they head back.
Lisa goes, then she dropped something so heavy, not even Bob the Builder could move it. I was like, Lisa, fire your writer.
They all go back to the house. Well, they go back in groups.
And Whitney reveals tonight.
Tonight is a weeknight.
Tonight is the night where we all dress up like my hero, Marilyn Monroe.
Everybody who knows me knows that all my life my hero has been one Marilyn Monroe, film star, icon, philanthropist.
And I love a costume party more than anything. So tonight,
we are going to have a Marilyn dinner.
the amount of shit Marilyn Monroe has been through in 2022, it just never ends. Imagine dying tragically, dying young,
not getting able to like truly
live your life,
or like reach your full potential of what you saw for yourself.
and then everyone and their mother has their own version. They are just constantly cosplaying as you in like probably like not great moments. Like you just are from the afterlife. You're like, here they go again.
Yeah, like I'm sure she was.
It's like an earthquake radar when you look at the globe. How many earthquakes are like happening at once? It's like how many Marilyn Monroe things are happening at once.
How much bad wall art is happening?
So much.
Another Home Goods.
Bed Bath & Beyond was a Marilyn Monroe wall art hotspot.
She's up there right now, and she's not even able to cash in on it.
I know. She's like, here we go.
We continue to devastate Marilyn Monroe beyond the grave. Can we just let
have
her
one
rest?
year? I think it would be nice if like the whole world came together and declared like for 2023 we're not doing any Marilyn Monroe anything. We're gonna give her
rest,
a chance to rest. We're going to give all of us a chance to rest. Then in 2024, we'll get back into the swing of Marilyn Monroe stuff. But like,
let her rest.
Just 1 year.
1 year.
1 year is all I ask.
Of not embarrassing ourselves in the name of this person who doesn't know us.
Of a break.
Yeah.
Not even a fully formed human being.
Yeah.
It's enough.
Enough.
So everyone gets ready.
Yeah, they get dolled up with terrible wigs.
When he goes, the wigs aren't good, but we're all wearing them. I will wear this one. Long hair. Like a hairstyle that Marilyn Monroe never had.
Also, Meredith is wearing like wavy, like sports. I'm like, yes, Marilyn had gelled hair.
Long, wavy center part bob to like the collarbone. It's like Meredith.
Dana looked on point.
Yeah, Dana looked great.
Lisa put on a wig, which I'm surprised.
Even Lisa Barlow got down. Everyone looked good, and then there was Heather trench pulling out. And truly, Lisa and Heather got the worst wigs. They're like helmet wigs.
Yeah.
They look like NFL wigs. And then Jen is inexplicably dressed up as like Tina Turner. I was like, bitch, Marilyn Monroe did not have like a golden blonde. Like, I was like, you are fully take me to the river. She does not even look like Marilyn. I was like, why is she even wearing pink? I couldn't even put together that she's trying to do like diamonds are a girl's best friend. Cause I was like, no, all I could see
Heather
was
looked
Tina
more
Turner.
like that than fucking Jen. Jen, I was like, who is this?
Jen Shaw is heard it through the grapevine. Woo! Rolling on the river. That's what I keep expecting her. I'm like, wow, do you think the people at this restaurant were like a lot of Marilyn Monroe impersonators and then one Tina Turner? Also, the restaurant they go to.
Oh my god, they pile into their like Sprinter van, and then they head through like just San Diego, and then they end up at Board and Barrel.
Barrel and Board.
Barrel and Board.
Carrie and I were guffawing at Barrel and Board, but then until they sat down at the table and it was revealed that it's just a charcuterie restaurant, and then I was like, I want to go there.
Yeah, I was like, take me there now. I mean, it's not impossible to go to.
No, I'm like, we're gonna go.
Yeah, if we'll do San Diego.
We have to get down to the Q Dubs first.
We need to do like a SoCal tour.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Anaheim,
Orange County,
and then San Diego. So they sit down to a giant. Whitney goes, as you all know, we all on this show, we all love a large charcuterie, so this whole place is one big charcuterie.
I figured, why not go to a restaurant where that's all they serve is charcuterie?
But none of them eat.
No.
I'm like, I'd be fucking shoveling. I'd be literally just like.
I'd be like.
I would just be like, and I'm like, no wonder they all get so fucked up because they're all like hungry because they're all drinking. They've been drinking all day, like. So basically, like, the tension begins immediately, and
it's really just now between Heather and Whitney because Jen told Heather
that Whitney talked shit about her.
Yeah. And so then they have like a really mind-numbing back and forth, which felt like for hours, which for them it probably was hours, of Heather basically going, tell me what you need to tell me, like what you're telling everyone else. Like, what is the big problem that you have with me? And Whitney goes, you are not hearing me. Your ears are not open. You do not hear what I'm saying.
And then Heather's like, okay, tell me.
I'm listening
now. And then Heather starts getting like kind of.
I think maybe the problem is that Whitney feels that Heather doesn't hear her or take her. Whitney was also like drunk. And then Heather starts getting really sarcastic. So
and then Meredith randomly is like, why are you bringing me into this?
Meredith came out of her like cloud that she was living in for the majority of this dinner, and she came to and was like, you're not taking her at face value, and she is getting mad at everything you say. Am I right? And
then Heather's like, and now all of a sudden Whitney has her head up Lisa's ass, like now she's your best friend. And then and she's like, meanwhile, Lisa, Whitney talks the most shit about you. And then Lisa's basically like, yeah, I know that she's talked shit about me, but like we're having a nice moment. Like,
yeah, and we squashed it.
And she's like, can't you give me that reprieve? Like, can't we just like kind of just let bygones be bygones? Like, why do you have to like always have that like? And that was such a good point. It's like, that's the point of on a trip. You kind of let things go down. Like you let things roll off.
Yeah. And if someone's having a problem with you or you're trying to talk out some sort of conversation, it's like you want to be aware of your body language. You want to be aware of your tone if you're getting like heated or defensive. Yeah. And like probably at a charcuterie restaurant is not the place to like have that big discussion. But like Heather is really defensive and acting like a fucking bitch.
She's being like, Whitney's not as like dominant as Heather. Like she's very, I think Whitney's smart, but I think like it takes her a minute to like get her like what she wants. She can't really articulate herself as well as Heather. Yeah. And Heather knows that, and she has that upper hand because she's like an older cousin. Mm-hmm. So she's like, she keeps her in that dynamic of being like, okay, tell me what you want to say in front of everyone.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's do this. And then that's going to trigger Whitney.
Trip her up and make her look stupid. It's like Heather's just trying to make her look stupid in front of everyone.
Yeah, and she's going to get all flustered. Whitney walks up and then walks back down, and then it's just this whole like cyclical thing, and then everyone's kind of telling Heather to back the fuck down a little, which I thought was good.
Yeah. But Heather still is like getting jabs in left and right.
She's like, at one point she starts just flat out ignoring Whitney, and Whitney's going, Heather, do you hear me?
Do you hear me? Whitney goes, I have never
talked shit about you. And I was like, truly Ireland.
And then like the dinner kicks off with them being like, you left us to like surf and we're so hungry, like making a joke, like not mm-hmm. It was not an indictment.
Yeah.
And then Jen goes, oh, so you want to know? You're being really nosy. You want to know what happened at the lunch, what I said at the lunch? Since you really want to know, I tried to commit suicide. That's what I did. It's like, Jesus Christ, lady. Yeah. No one, like, if you're weaponizing your suicide
attempt,
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you didn't really want to kill yourself. Because people that want to kill themselves tend to get the job done.
I mean, I think people can try and, I mean, I think attempts are
a cry for help, but that is like that's in its own way. Like,
I just think the way like
that's the attempt is the communication. The afterwards weaponization of the attempt that's no longer about suicide. That's about a power play.
Yeah. And like a cry for help is valid and like very real.
Totally.
And, like, totally. Oh, like that is like, but when you start using it to like Jen's doing, which is just bulldozing, and it cheapens, it's very reductive to people who are like, it reduces. But it is really reductive, and it's mm-hmm. like it's kind of spitting in the face of people who've like been through that shit.
Yeah,
and it's
unfair.
Just fucked up because I don't think a lot of people. I wouldn't. I'm sure there's, there aren't, I'm sure, I'm like, it just makes me so like amped, but it's like most people don't do what she's doing and don't weaponize this like
Yeah.
this terrible like sad moment that they went through and like overcame to bulldoze Wild Rose
To like shut down a conversation
over
over
a
a charcuterie table. Yeah, it's
It's
no longer, it's not about the suicide attempt.
and you're a bad friend.
Yeah, and you're kind of a bad person right now.
Yeah.
You're not stepping into your
Light.
Yeah.
So then the whole dinner is just kind of like, and
them walking through that restaurant, all dressed as Marilyn Monroe's. I looked at Carey and I was like, they walk in, there's like a group of like dudes in trucker hats, like men. And I was like, this is like that Sex and the City episode where Samantha and Carey took the train to San Francisco, and Samantha goes, hey, gentlemen, I hear there's a bachelor party around here. None of them will talk to her.
They're all like drinking like Coronas. Like,
yeah, they're like, everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, who are these ladies?
these broads.
These women. And they go out to a gay bar. They hit the gay bars.
And then Lisa, Whitney, and Dana are dancing like amongst the gays on the floor. And then of course Whitney gets up on the platform and is doing her thing. And then you just hear Heather going, fucking Whitney. I was like,
that's dark.
She's live, laugh, loving. She's an ally.
Yeah, you want to have fun? Go down there. Why are you up here on your high horse?
And why are you up here with this person who is abusive to you?
Yeah.
And Meredith is just up there because she's like,
Meredith's blackout.
Where am I? They get back to the house and they're all like really drunk. And there's pizza, popcorn, chips. And Heather and Jen immediately,
they go into boobs mode.
They press their breasts together, and
Jen like walks up to the window from outside and just presses her tits against the window, and I was like, this is like
the strangers.
This is the strangers. This is sleep paralysis demon.
They try to get Meredith to take her top off, but she won't. And then Angie starts taking photos of them, like the most and I was like,
I was like, she's trying to blackmail them.
Yeah, I was like, I know they're being.
I was like, this
right
bitch
now,
keeps the score.
But watch out for that.
Yeah,
that's
I
not
don't trust
cool.
that. I saw how she acted in that Sprinter van.
Mm-hmm.
She's always keeping score.
She is. And then Meredith, Angie, who's keeping score, Jen and Heather all like giggle on the bed together. Heather tries to mount Jen.
Yeah, the way she got like, that's when I was like, she's in love.
And she might be.
I mean, I think
there's like, she's like, I think Jen is just like, there's something about Jen that like is like freeing to her.
Yeah.
And she needs to like suck out her life force.
And then
it leads into they all go to bed and then
everyone goes their separate ways and the whole episode turns into Paranormal Activity.
And then we cut to Heather and it's a night vision in her room and she goes to bed and then it cuts to 4:50 a.m. and she hears you see the doorknob. And I was like, is this Jen coming in to have a sleepover?
Yeah, because someone said like, come sleep with me in my bed.
I think it was Jen.
I don't think so because Jen's in the room the next day when Heather shows off her wounds.
So Heather answers the door because that was creepy. Someone was like,
who's trying to get in? Is it the Wild Rose?
It might be.
Wild Rose Unleashed.
She has a huge black eye the next day.
And scratches on her arm.
I don't know. Something happened. I feel like
how did no one hear this happen though?
Because everyone was fucked up.
Yeah,
everyone
true.
Was blackout. I feel like it was like maybe Jen and like they were
Jen take an Ambien and then
maybe, or like they were roughhousing or something.
They were fucking.
Maybe.
What if she and Jen had like the craziest, wildest sex of Heather's life, and Heather's like, punch me right in the fucking face.
Yeah. Maybe.
She's like, Meredith, get in here. We have to tell you something. And then Meredith's like, what's going on? I'm so scared. And Jen's sitting there looking kind of sheepish. What if it's just Heather's like, we fucked last night. It was insane. She's like,
But I also think that like I could see Jen like coming in like belligerently, like trying to be funny and like accidentally like pushing her over or something.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something. It's not gonna be Whitney.
Because wouldn't we have heard about it by now if it was Whitney?
And Whitney doesn't do that.
The wild rose.
Jen,
Again, she's a peaceful rose.
I think it was Jen. And Jen the next day is gonna be kind of sheepish, like, yeah, we just something happened last night, you know. Anyway,
who has the
tea? Anyone out there?
Yeah, what happened?
Anyone
Fan
have the
theories.
intel?
I like that they just like hooked up and had like violently wild sex.
Violently making love,
Mm-hmm.
like pre-prigione.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Heather was like,
Let's do this now.
let's do this. You can get some practice in. And Jen goes, what? And she goes, just go down on me. Just go down on me. And then they like really just like fucked for a long time. And it escalated and escalated. And then
Punch me.
how about a punch?
Guys, tell us your theories.
Yeah.
If
what
you
do
know,
think?
if anyone out there knows any tea. What? Spill it.
Spill the tea, sis. Spill it. Let us the fuck know.
Let us the fuck know.
This is fun. Sup after dark.
Sup after hours. Dusk. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Ciao.